Most people think a survival kit needs to be expensive, tactical, and packed with gadgets. That's exactly why they get it wrong. For just $25 at Walmart, you can build something leaner, smarter, and far more useful. Orange contractor trash bags. The first item. Most people ignore. Orange contractor trash bags come first because the smartest emergency kit does not begin with fancy tools. It begins with protection. That is where a lot of expensive ready-made bags lose the plot. Those bags often look impressive because the packaging is full of tiny items, but the real question is simple. What actually helps when rain, wind, cold ground, or low visibility becomes the problem? A bright contractor bag answers that question better than a surprising amount of costly gear. The source makes shelter and body temperature protection a top priority, and that is why this plain item deserves the first spot. The orange color is not just for looks. Black plastic may be common, but black plastic disappears into shadows, trees, pavement, and debris. Orange does the opposite. Orange stands out. That means the same cheap bag can help with visibility, while also working as a barrier from rain and wet ground. This is the kind of detail that separates a practical kit from a bag built for product photos. A tool that does 2 jobs is useful. A tool that does 5 jobs on a tiny budget starts making the expensive kit look careless. A contractor bag can be worn as a rough emergency poncho if openings are cut carefully. It can be placed between the body and damp soil. It can protect smaller gear from rain. It can be spread open to collect rainwater. It can also act as a bright panel when someone needs to be noticed from a distance. None of this is glamorous, but glamour is not useful when conditions become uncomfortable. The plain orange bag wins because the orange bag solves basic problems without asking for batteries, skill, or extra parts. 2 simple lighters. Fire should not be complicated. 2 basic lighters are next because fire starting should be simple. A lot of people get distracted by fire tools that look rugged or clever, but the real test is whether the tool can be used quickly when hands are cold, tired, or clumsy. A simple lighter wins because most people already know how to use one. Press, spark, flame. That basic process matters more than any dramatic marketing claim printed on survival gear packaging. The reason for carrying 2 lighters is redundancy. One lighter can get misplaced, damaged, or wet at the wrong time. A second lighter keeps one small failure from turning into a much bigger problem. Expensive kits often include one version of several items, but a smarter kit understands that the most important functions deserve backup. Fire is one of those functions. Warmth, light, signaling, and morale all connect to fire, so the kit should not rely on a single tiny object. This is also where the $25 kit shows its real personality. It does not care about looking advanced. It cares about reducing friction. A lighter takes less effort than tools that require controlled movement, dry tinder, and practice. That does not make other tools useless, but it does make the lighter more practical for most people. The goal is not to impress anyone watching from a couch. The goal is to give the person carrying the kit a tool that works when patience is low and the situation is messy. Emergency Mylar blankets, small package, serious heat value. Emergency Mylar blankets are thin, light, and easy to underestimate. That is exactly why a lot of people overlook them until someone explains the purpose clearly. These blankets are not about comfort. They are about reflecting body heat and adding another layer of protection. When paired with the contractor bag, a Mylar blanket turns 2 cheap items into a simple system. The bag helps block wind and rain. The blanket helps reflect warmth. Together, those items are more useful than either item alone. This is the pattern that keeps repeating through the kit. One item is good, but connected items are better. A Mylar blanket can wrap around the body, line a quick shelter, reflect warmth from a small flame, or flash light as a signal during the day. That is a lot of function from something that folds smaller than many wallets. An expensive kit might include more objects, but more objects do not automatically mean more capability. Capability comes from choosing items that solve real problems in more than one way. The mistake many people make is expecting one product to do everything. A Mylar blanket is not a sleeping bag. It is not a cabin. It is not comfort. It is a lightweight heat management layer. When a person understands that, the item becomes much more useful. It should be used as part of a system, something under the body, something around the body, and something blocking wind and moisture. That simple layering idea is worth more than half the random gear stuffed into many expensive bags. unlubricated latex water carrier, the item that sounds strange until it makes sense. This item is one of the easiest to laugh at and one of the quickest to misunderstand. The practical purpose is water transport and waterproof storage. The source points out that an unlubricated latex barrier can hold water when supported inside cloth, such as a sock or bandana. The support matters because the material should not be stretched or scraped against rough surfaces without protection. Used correctly, this tiny item becomes a collapsible container that takes almost no room. The key word is unlubricated. The kit needs clean utility, not mess. The goal is to carry water or protect small items from moisture without contaminating anything. A commercial collapsible bottle is easier to understand, but a commercial bottle usually costs more and takes up more room. This item makes the list because the whole kit is built around compact usefulness. It does not need to look tactical, it needs to do the job. This same item can also protect dry tinder, small supplies, tablets, or tiny electronics from moisture when tied off properly. That is the deeper lesson. A good kit is not always made from products sold as survival gear. A good kit is made from objects that solve problems. The expensive bag sells a feeling. This cheap item quietly handles water transport and waterproofing. That is why the list works. It keeps forcing practical thinking instead of letting the viewer fall for appearance. Water purification tablets. Collecting water is only half the job. Water purification tablets matter because finding water is not enough. Water needs to be made safer before drinking, and tablets give the kit a compact way to do that. The source frames tablets as simple, lightweight, and low cost. The instructions on the package matter here. A person should use the correct amount of water, add the correct tablet amount, wait the required time, and follow the label. The tool is simple, but simple does not mean careless. This section is where the kit starts connecting into a full water system. The orange contractor bag can help collect rainwater. The unlubricated latex water carrier can help move water when supported properly. The bandana, which comes later, can remove larger bits of debris before purification. The tablets handle the treatment step according to the instructions, that is, collection, transport, filtering, and treatment, built from a few small items that barely take up space. This is where the expensive bag starts looking bloated. A costly kit may include a filter, a bottle, or random accessories, but if the pieces do not work together, the kit is not as strong as it looks. Tablets are not magic, and no one should pretend every water problem is solved instantly. But for a compact, low-cost emergency setup, tablets add a critical layer without adding bulk. The smarter kit does not try to be impressive. It tries to be complete enough to handle the first problems in the cleanest way possible. Mini sewing kit. Repair is more important than people think. A mini sewing kit looks boring, and that is why it belongs here. Useful emergency gear is often boring until a seam rips, a strap tears, or clothing starts failing. A needle and thread can keep clothing together, patch material, and extend the usefulness of other items in the kit. Once something tears, ignoring the tear usually makes the problem larger. A tiny sewing kit helps stop that from happening. The source also mentions the old field method of using a magnetized needle as part of an improvised direction-finding setup. That should not be treated as a replacement for a real compass, and overstating that would be irresponsible. Still, the point is useful. The needle is not just a repair object. The thread can also help tie, lash, bundle, or rig small fixes. It will not replace rope, but it adds options. Options matter when the kit is intentionally small. If this video is helping, subscribe. That's the whole pitch. The sewing kit earns a place because the $25 setup depends on keeping simple materials useful for as long as possible. The contractor bag may need patching. Clothing may need repair. A bandana may need fastening. Small items may need tying together. This is not exciting content for people chasing flashy gear, but it is exactly the kind of practical item that makes a small kit stronger. The expensive bag often adds objects. The smarter kit adds problem-solving capacity. Small roll of duct tape, the repair tool that holds the kit together. Duct tape is obvious, but most people carry it wrong. A full roll is bulky, and a bulky item does not belong in a pocket-sized kit unless that item is absolutely necessary. The better method is carrying a smaller amount by wrapping tape around a pencil, lighter, or another compact object. This keeps the useful part without wasting space. The kit is not trying to fill a backpack. The kit is trying to stay light enough that a person actually carries it. Duct tape helps repair tears in a contractor bag, patch holes in a Mylar blanket, secure loose gear, cover rubbing spots before movement becomes uncomfortable, and hold basic wraps in place. It is not a full medical setup, and the script should not oversell it as one. The value is quick repair and temporary support. In a rough situation, small fixes can keep the rest of the kit working. This item also supports the philosophy behind the entire list. A single piece of tape can connect, patch, seal, hold, and reinforce. That is the kind of function per dollar thinking that expensive kits often miss. A ready-made bag may include many tiny objects, but if those objects cannot repair the shelter layer, secure gear, or help with movement, the item count is not doing much. Duct tape does not need a fancy name. Duct tape just works across multiple problems. Trial size petroleum jelly, the tiny fire booster. Almost nobody packs. Trial size petroleum jelly is one of the smallest items in the kit, but it earns attention because it helps with fire starting. When worked into cotton material, petroleum jelly can help create a longer burning fire starter. That extra burn time matters. A quick spark may disappear before damp tinder catches, but a steadier flame gives the material more time to take. This is not about creating a dramatic trick. This is about making fire starting easier when conditions are not perfect. Petroleum jelly also helps with friction during movement. Applied carefully to areas that rub, petroleum jelly can reduce irritation and keep walking more comfortable. It can also help protect dry, cracked skin from getting worse in harsh weather. Those uses may sound small, but small problems become distracting fast when someone is tired, cold, wet, or moving for a long time. A kit that ignores comfort completely is not being tough. A kit that manages friction and fire starting is being smart. The reason this item works so well in the list is that it exposes how bad most gear shopping really is. People spend money chasing items that look serious, then ignore a tiny container that helps with flame, movement, and skin protection. That is not a budget issue. That is a priority issue. The $25 Walmart kit keeps pulling attention back to practical function. A small item with 3 real uses beats a big item that only looks good in a photo. Single-edge razor blades, precision cutting without carrying bulk. Single-edge razor blades provide precision cutting in a tiny package. A large cutting tool may handle rough work, but a small razor blade can shave tinder, cut tape cleanly, trim cloth, open packaging, shape small materials, and handle detail work with control. The source includes razor blades because the kit needs a compact edge that does not take up space or add weight. Safe storage matters with this item. A blade should stay covered, wrapped, or packed securely so it does not damage the kit or create problems when someone reaches inside. That detail is non-negotiable. A sharp tool is useful only when carried responsibly. The kit is supposed to make the situation easier, not create avoidable trouble because something was tossed in loose. This is another place where ready-made kits often disappoint. A multi-tool can look impressive, but the blade may be small, dull, awkward, or difficult to control. The razor blade is honest. It is sharp, flat, cheap, and specific. It does not replace every cutting tool, but it handles the fine cutting tasks that come up often in a compact kit. That is the whole theme again. Do not carry objects for the label. Carry objects for the task. Cotton bandana, the simple cloth that finishes the system. The cotton bandana may be the quiet champion of the kit because cloth solves a surprising number of problems. A bandana can pre-filter collected water before tablets are used. That does not purify the water by itself, but it can remove larger debris and make the next step cleaner. A bandana can cover the head or neck from sun, work as a simple dust barrier, bundle small items, support the latex water carrier, apply pressure to a minor injury, or become a signal flag if the color stands out. The bandana also keeps the kit organized. Small items can be wrapped inside it so the kit does not become a loose pile of tiny objects. Organization matters because stress makes searching harder. A clean bundle is easier to grab, easier to check, and easier to carry. This is one of those details that sounds small until the moment someone needs an item quickly. The bandana completes the system because it touches almost every category: water preparation, basic first aid support, sun protection, signaling, storage, and organization. A piece of cotton will never look as exciting as a branded survival tool, but function does not care about excitement. The bandana earns the space because it keeps adding value across the kit. When paired with tablets, tape, petroleum jelly, and the contractor bag, the bandana becomes more than cloth. It becomes the flexible link between several jobs. Why the $25 kit embarrasses the expensive bag? The $25 kit is not better because cheap automatically beats expensive. That would be a lazy claim. The $25 kit looks better because each item is chosen with a clear job in mind. The contractor bag handles shelter, rain protection, ground separation, water collection, and visibility. The lighters handle ignition with backup. The Mylar blankets help manage heat and signaling. The water items cover collection, transport, and treatment. The sewing kit and duct tape keep materials usable. The petroleum jelly improves fire starting and reduces friction. The razor blade handles precision cutting. The bandana filters, wraps, protects, bundles, and signals. That is why item count can be misleading. A bag with 60 small things may look complete, but a bag with 10 smart things may solve more real problems. The expensive bag often wins the first impression. The Walmart kit wins the logic test. When the situation becomes uncomfortable, nobody cares how dramatic the packaging looked online. The only thing that matters is whether the item in your hand helps with the problem in front of you. The deeper message is uncomfortable but useful. A lot of people are not buying readiness. A lot of people are buying relief from the feeling of being unprepared. That relief can be expensive and it can be false. Building a small kit by hand forces a person to understand every item. That knowledge matters. A person who understands 10 items is better prepared than a person carrying dozens of mystery tools that have never been tested. So here's the question worth answering in the comments. Would you rather carry a bag that looks impressive or a kit where every single item has a reason to be there? Because that answer says a lot about how people think about being prepared. And if this kind of practical breakdown is useful, watch the next video, because the next mistake people make with emergency gear is even more expensive.